Good morning, Line. Thanks for joining us. A punchy show this morning, folks. We're going to be talking about the budget process, the cuts. Today, the governor's budget goes before the Senate Finance Committee. A lot of people recognize there's some very hard cuts to be made. The question is where and how, or whether tax reform is the answer for that. And so as we just see this process really getting underway on Capitol Hill, we want to talk about it today on Morning Line, and a great panel of guests to give us their 2 cents worth. And with us this morning is Nell Levine. Good morning, Nell. Thank you for coming on. She's with Tennessee Alliance for Progress, organizer of well, much of what you put out, Shredding the Safety Net. I have an executive summary of that I was looking over this morning, and it's basically the effects of the proposed budget cuts on Tennessee families and communities, and we'll talk about that. Anthony Atkins is with us this morning. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning.
You're a student. It's a pleasure to have a student. You're not missing class this morning, are you?
No, not missing
class. Okay. A student at Tennessee Tech University and sociology pre-law major, can actually talk about the impacts, in his view, on education. This will certainly affect him. And also with us, fresh off the wet highway, is Brain Poddock. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Tennesseans for Fair Taxation. Thank you for coming on as well this morning. Listen, I'm not sure where to start. There's so much. We want to take phone calls and get people's response to what they think's happening right now with the governor's budget. But let me start with you, Nell. Without getting into too much detail as we just start this, your general concerns right now as we talk about across-the-board cuts trying to get us out of this budget quagmire in the state, and some very difficult cuts. You're upset with the process and the degree of the cuts?
Well, not with the process. Actually, I have to commend Governor Bredesen for actually conducting an open hearing on the budget, which is a change from previous administrations. I think that part is great. I am, and my organization, Tennessee Alliance for Progress, is very concerned about the future of the state. What do these cuts mean for the future of the state? I don't want to burden you with too many statistics, but I just want to point out a few things.
Sure.
Nationally, Tennessee is 48th in education spending per capita. We are 48th in public high school graduation rates, and we are 40th in the percentage of college graduates. We are 4th in violent crimes per capita. We are 42nd in environmental spending per capita, and all 4 of our cities are in the top 10 for pollution, for ozone pollution in the nation.
You're depressing me over there, Nell.
We are 44th in the overall health of our citizens. We are number 1 in personal bankruptcy. Now, there's a figure that most people probably don't think. We have the 3rd highest state and local tax burden as a percentage of income, and we have the 8th number of children living in poverty. And some say we're number 1 in roads. I don't have a statistic on that one.
Well, we do have nice roads, don't we? I'm not sure that's where you want to be number 1 with all those other numbers. Now, with education, all right, the proposed reductions, what we're saying, nearly $39 million cut from K through 12 education, which, as you say, will affect summer programs, preschool. And then higher education could have about $100 million slashed?
Over $100 million slashed. And I'm going to let Anthony talk about the direct effects of that, because he knows, he's a student. But higher education has been underfunded for years in Tennessee, unfortunately. And higher education is really approaching a real crisis in this state. And that is, I know some people don't particularly care about higher ed if they don't think their kids are going to go to college, but higher education is one of the wheels that drives our economic engine here in this state. When companies look to relocate, the first thing they look at is the educational level of the citizens of the state. And if we expect to get the high-tech jobs, which are the high-paying jobs of the future, we are not going to get them in Tennessee if we don't improve our education level. It's absolutely essential. Plus, higher education pays for itself. If someone goes to college and they're just going to earn more money, so they're going to pay more taxes. So actually it comes back to the government in form of a dividend if you invest in higher education. So it's just common sense that we need to invest in higher education.
Okay, and I guess that's segued into where we should start then, really, with education. And Anthony, maybe you can talk about, if these cuts happen, how do you tangibly see this affecting you as a student?
Okay. Well, first of all, I think it's important to note, just to kind of preface this, that this is not the first time higher education has been cut. We are cut year after year, and we faced similar cuts last year.
And tuition